Hi everyone, this is Ilina and welcome to another LDRS creative card making video. For today's video, I'm using the Peony Impressions plate, letterpress and foil plate, and I'll be foiling on black cardstock. So I have just the packaging of the plate there because the plate is warming on my foiling platform, and I'm using satin gold foil. So the die cutting machine was too big for my screen, so you can see there the peak of the foiling machine. I added the foil on top of the plate and I added black watercolor paper on top, and I'm adding the plates on top, running it through my die cutting machine. I'll remove the plates and my watercolor cardstock. Then I'll remove the foil, and you can see this foiled beautifully. So my platform is still hot, so I'll use it to foil another piece of watercolor paper to save it for later use. So I'm placing the foil, I'm placing the paper on top, making sure that it does not move once I place it down, because you know gonna get kind of over foiling or kind of ghost image. So I'm running it on the other way, and we'll remove that watercolor paper. The foil stayed on the plate, and that one looks perfectly too. Okay. So now I'm die cutting the tanks for the one word die set. So I had it previously die cut from gold cardstock. I'm making two layers from black cardstock so I can stack them up. Usually use white cardstock, but because my background is black, I decided to cut those two from black cardstock. Okay, so we have everything now. Now it's time to start watercoloring. So because I'm watercoloring on black cardstock, I decided to use shimmer watercolors that look amazing on black cardstock. So I have quarter pens here. I'm just adding a few drops of water to activate them. So on the left, I thought I was going to use pinks, but I decided to go with purples, so I won't be using the palette on the left side. So I'm starting with the green. I'm watercoloring the leaves. I'm just moving from, instead of left to right, I tend to move from right to left. So that's what you will notice in this video. If you move left to right, you minimize the possibility of smearing your watercolor. I did not smear it. I'm moving right to left, but I would recommend doing the other way around. Or if you're doing my way, just be careful not to smear that watercolor while it's still wet. So I have there also a jar with water that I'm picking up with my brush to get a nice consistency of the watercolor. So I'm almost done with the leaves here. I skipped a couple parts. I cut it off from the video so you're not watching me watercolor for an hour. Now I'm moving to the flowers. I'm using light purple, and here and there I will add a little bit of the darker purple too. Just adding a little bit more water. Kind of mixing that up to get to the consistency I like for the watercolor. I'm adding more color, moving to the other flowers too. So since I'm using shimmer paint or shimmer watercolors, you don't need to worry, and it's on a black cardstock, about blending, and it's really hard to blend those unless you use different shades. But I think with one shade and adding here and there accents of the lighter or darker purple looks wonderful. So I'm almost done here. Okay, I think that is done. So I'll let that dry. While that dries, I will stack the tanks die cuts. And I'm using liquid glue. Okay, so that looks, I lined those up and I think that looks good. I don't need another layer. And now add it towards the bottom between that line between where the image ends and the watercolor paper. Since that did not foil straight, I did not have the cardstock straight or the watercolor paper straight, so I'm trying to trim the end to make that bottom line be parallel with the line of the image. So I used my ruler that came with my Squirrel and Wine glass mat. And now I'm trimming this piece down to 4 by 5 1/4. I started with 6 by 4 3/4. So I think I'll add the tanks there, and that will be almost the end of the card for today. So I added the liquid glue on the back. I added the die cut on my panel. I'm adding acrylic block to press that down. In meantime, I made a note card from ivory cardstock that measured 4 1/4 by 11, and then I scored it and folded it in half. Now I'm adding some foam tape on the back of that watercolor paper, and to finish off the card, I will just add it to my card base. I need a little another piece of the foam tape. I'll remove the backing here. And once I remove all the backing, I will add more liquid glue. So this will allow me to have a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of time until I press that down to make sure that it's nice and straight and you still have time to correct it if it's not. And that's our card for today. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also visit our blog for more ideas and more inspiration. Thanks for watching. Bye!